be.
The last to break.
Finally, the day has come. F1 23 is fully revealed and is coming out on June the 16th, 2023, a lot earlier than we've had the previous F1 games, and that trailer certainly did actually build a bit of hype and spark a lot of interest from my side. And not only today do we have the trailer to get us hyped up for the brand new F1 game this year, but also the usual press release that gives us the juicy details of what to expect in the upcoming game. The headline for this game: who will be the last to break? And new precision drive technology delivers vastly improved pad play alongside real F1 team feedback for the ultimate wheel experience. Today, Electronic Arts announces EA Sports F1 23 coming out June 16th and will be headlined with the return of the epic story mode Breaking Point. F1 23 home to every team, driver and circuit for the 23 season, including the highly anticipated Las Vegas Grand Prix and the Losail International Circuit for Qatar. Building on an exciting new partnership with Max Verstappen, who now boasts the EA Sports branding on the chin of his helmet, the back-to-back world champion is confirmed as the cover star for the digital exclusive F1 23 Champions Edition. The return of Breaking Point allows players to immerse themselves in a racing story, which provides a unique look at F1 alongside authentic race features our players know and love, said Lee Mather, creative director at Codemasters. Our closer relationship with the teams has allowed us to refine our handling model, adding greater realism to pad play and implementing a new color encoding system used in film and TV, creating more true to life experience. And I already did hint at this in yesterday's video that from what we saw from Max and Charles's videos that they post on socials and the little snippets we got of actual in-engine, in-game gameplay, it did look slightly different to me. To my eyes, the color grading, you know, whether it was actually in-engine or post, you know, in editing, it was slightly different. But this confirms that it actually may be in-engine, a new encoding system to make it look more like what we see in real life, or, you know, let's say Drive to Survive on Netflix. Because for sure, looking at that trailer today, I got big DTS vibes, the way it was all color graded and just looked a bit more grounded to what we see on TV all the time. We're going to dive into a breakdown of the trailer that got released today in the second part of this video, but right now I want to delve more into this actual press release, because this is where the actual concrete details of new features of the game are always placed, so it's always great to go through it and read it. The Breaking Point returns for a bold new chapter following the careers of young upstart Aiden Jackson and protagonist Devin Butler, now teammates for Connor Sport Racing Team, a fledgling organization hoping to succeed against the current real-world F1 teams and drivers. So we are getting kind of basically the story mode is following kind of my team setup, if you will, but it's going to be driven by Butler and Aiden Jackson, and it's all managed by this fictional Connor Sport Racing Team company, adding a host of new characters, fresh rivalries, and racing challenges. Both aim to take their careers up to the next level, but there will be twists, turns, and pitfalls along the way. I really enjoyed the first Breaking Point story on F1 2021, so I'm really looking forward to this second one. And I think from what we can glean from the trailer, it's going to be even more complex with a lot more other kind of characters in play, not just the ones we've already been introduced to, basically. And I think with also the visual aspect of it, it's going to look like an even better story mode as well as we play through it. But now we come to some finer details of the actual gameplay itself. F1 23's handling has been upgraded from last season, allowing for more predictable behavior, and new vehicle physics gives the cars better traction when braking, accelerating, and cornering. Now, this is a big one because consistently, no matter who you were, everyone was saying how annoying F1 22's handling was with the traction. You know, you would get wheel spin sometimes in 5th gear. Even the esports drivers were saying it was ridiculous, and real F1 drivers. Like, you guys know when we've done virtual GPs with Quadrant, you know, when we've been recording recording with Lando Norris, Lando even himself says that the medium traction on F1 22 was more realistic than no traction on F1 22. So just showing they did need to make a big change. Thankfully, that is the case here. Taking feedback also from real F1 teams by saying by incorporating actual F1 team feedback, a greater balance between aerodynamics and tyre grip results in a more realistic feels. Engine torque and inertia improvements also mean throttle control is more authentic and offers a greater level of connection to the car. That's absolutely what we all want to hear. Hopefully, it's not going to be a struggle all year long with all this constant wheel spin and feathering the throttle. And hopefully that also comes into play with the AI also not being overpowered in that sense versus the player. Alongside these improvements, precision drive controller technology will give pad players better control and confidence in those crucial race moments. So if you're a pad player, controller player, hopefully your playing experience will be a little bit better as well compared to last year's game. And I'm always for that because although, yes, I play on a racing wheel, I want as many people to be able to play the F1 game and play it well and enjoy it. So improvements to pad controls are always welcome in my opinion as well. Following community feedback, 35% race distances makes its debut. That is the same distance that they've been starting to do in F1 esports. It's like a good balance between 50%, which sometimes, to be honest, can drag a little bit if it's a boring race, and then 25% where it's not short enough, where you're not getting enough strategy play with tyre saving or maybe a two-stop at certain races. So for those of you who feel like you can't do a 50% race all the time, 35% is going to be a really good middle way marker. Additionally, red flags add a new strategic element to F1 23. We have not had red flags for what is that? 9 years. We haven't had red flags for 9 years since F1 2014. So red flags are fine there. I literally tweeted about this the other day off the back of Baku. They had to be in the game because the amount of red flags we get in real life, it's ridiculous that we don't actually have them in the game and don't have that actual authenticity and realism of it. So red flags are going to be back. So if you have a heavy enough crash, everyone resets, you get a fresh set of tires, and maybe strategically you could be screwed over or could have an advantage. That's the potluck of red flags. And the ability to react quickly could change the outcome of a race, as it says, both for better and for worse. And then alongside the full 2023 season calendar, which expands to include Las Vegas and Lusail, the game boasts 3 legacy circuits of Paul Ricard, Shanghai, and Portimao, all confirmed for launch. So at launch, you can play Paul Ricard, Shanghai, Portimao. I assume, hopefully, they'll also all be confirmed at launch to be usable in My Team career mode with the custom calendar we have, at least maybe after Season 1, potentially. So that is great, because we won't have to be waiting like we did last year to get some additional tracks to add in to our single-player experience and multiplayer experiences on the F1 game. And finally, we have the introduction of the F1 World Hub, delivering a fresh experience with content inspired by the real-world calendar. Don't exactly know what that's going to entail. It's an expansion on F1 Life, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be all about furniture this time, thankfully, because they say helping introduce players to the complex world of Formula 1, F1 World brings together multiple game modes, including time trial and Grand Prix, offering an exciting new way to play the game. So I think F1 World is going to be more about a system that is going to connect together and allow you to access time trial Grand Prix, almost just basically like a fancy kind of way to present it, if you will, rather than shoving like furniture down our face. But here's a proper exciting bit. A new progression system allows players to level up by completing challenges to unlock car upgrades, new liveries, race suits, and helmets. Unlock new car upgrades. So is that connected to My Team then? Because you don't upgrade the car unless you're doing My Team career mode, driver career mode, or co-op career mode. So in some way, shape, or form, there is a new progression system, and it's connected to car upgrades. So I've got to hope that that's also included with My Team, not just online modes like co-op, because I don't think it will be in anything else, because multiplayer, you're not really upgrading the car unless they're going to have a system like that. I mean, if they do have that, that'll be pretty juicy as well. And then new liveries, race suits, and helmets. Thankfully, no furniture and, other bits and bobs inside. It's all just actually what we can see in the game when we're playing it with the race suits and helmets and new liveries. But that probably also will confirm to us that there is not going to be, unfortunately, a livery editor. Once again, it will be a podium pass system where we have to simply select the liveries. If you're on consoles, obviously, with PCs, there are things like mods, but with the consoles, it will just be the usual podium pass system. But there is a new progression system in there, and that's actually case in point with this XP boost down here. I saw this already, is there's an XP boost if you get the Champions Edition. So that XP is connected to this new progression system. So there's going to be some sort of new system. Kind of sounds like a little bit like Fortnite or Call of Duty where there's XP involved, and maybe that's a way they're going to get us to play the game later on down the line by doing like double XP weekends or whatever to get more XP to unlock further upgrades, etc. or whatever. And then there's a new safety rating system that links online and offline play. So the safety rating will also be there for offline. So if you're going about your way being way too aggressive with AI offline, that will affect your safety system, and that will play into your online safety system. So it will be monitoring you the entire time, no matter what game mode you're playing. And this system also helps pairs like-minded drivers more efficiently for improved online racing, which I like, to be fair. So if you are a naughty boy offline, punting AI, being too aggressive, that will also affect your experience of the multiplayer in who you are linked to. And then finally, the last bit, the digital exclusive for F1 23 Champions Edition comes with the time-limited Las Vegas content, Max Verstappen Racewear Pack, Breaking Point 2 Icons, and Vanity Item Pack. Wait, Breaking Point 2 Icons. Breaking Point 2... That surely means that Breaking Point characters are going to be available in My Team. Because Icons is the My Team Icons. So Breaking Point 2 Icons should suggest, like I kind of guessed, maybe there's going to be a bit of bleed over into My Team. Not in the same exact way as I said with the story actually connected to My Team. But just like in F1 2019, with that F2 story mode, you could insert Devin Butler and Lucas Weber into your career modes. We could potentially, if you pre-order the Champions Edition, insert Devin Butler, Aiden Jackson, other driver characters maybe possibly into your My Team career mode and almost carve out your own story connected to Breaking Point. That would be pretty damn sick. Vanity Item Pack, dual entitlement obviously for the different consoles because it is available for PlayStation 4 into 5 and Xbox One into Series X. And then we've got, on top of the Breaking Point 2 icons, we've got 4 new My Team icons. So previous F1 drivers, legends of the sport, or just notable drivers, because obviously we had the likes of Mark Webber and Nico Hulkenberg, who weren't former world champions, but they were new icons in F1 22. So it's not necessarily former world champions. It could also just be notable drivers that have maybe recently retired. My guess is going to be 100%. I think Sebastian Vettel is going to be one of these icons, I reckon, because he's just, he was loved so much when he left the sport. I reckon it would just make a lot of sense. But we're going to get 4 new My Team icons plus the Breaking Point 2 icons if you pre-ordered Champions Edition. So we've got a load of new drivers to maybe sign in the My Team career mode. Then it says XP Boost, like I said, I think connected to this new progression system, F1 World Bumper Pack, and then 18,000 Bitcoin and 3 days early access. Don't know what the Bumper Pack exactly entails, if it's not going to include the 18,000 Bitcoin, so something else maybe, maybe just other items that you can get, maybe some, early car unlocks and new liveries and race suits and helmets potentially, I would guess. But that is a pretty damn good press release. I think compared to F1 22, which was god-awful of a press release of what we got, there's actually enough there that I can get excited about in terms of the new progression system that is somehow linked to unlocking car upgrades, a safety mode that also links to your offline play, which is a very left field way that I didn't think was going to be in the game. And then the fact we're getting Breaking Point icons and 4 new My Team icons as well. And we still haven't heard what these new car unlocks actually entail. Like, how does it link to the progression system? How does that work? So I hope that means there's going to be a whole revamped system, basically, of how we do car upgrades in my team career mode, if it is actually going to be connected to F1 World and outside of my team, etc. So that's pretty interesting, and hopefully we'll be hearing more of that in the weeks to come, basically. And there's not actually a lot of weeks to go. 16th of June means there's only like a full 5 weeks until this game comes out. So hopefully the news will be coming thick and fast in terms of gameplay trailers, gameplay from creators like myself as well, hopefully, if we get early access, and then also just more general news and articles about these different systems. Speaking of the trailer, if you haven't seen it in full, definitely go check it out, but we're going to do a little breakdown here, piece by piece, and see what we can glean from the still shots, because unlike previous F1 games, this reveal and announcement trailer actually shows a lot more than what we got. Like this time 2 years ago for F1 2021, all we got was some audio and some animations, whereas we're actually getting now bits of the cutscenes that I assume are straight from the actual story mode and in-game.
Who will be last to break? Round the outside he goes, and there's a huge lock-up!
Now, already getting big DTS vibes from that. You got the epic music coming in. But straight away, off the bat, this is what? Imola? I think this is Imola. That's turn 1 down to the run for turn 2. And already you're maybe seeing that kind of difference of the different color encoding systems to make it look more like film and TV. We come through with that kind of tagline, who will be the last to break, which is you're gonna hear that a lot with this game. Alfa Romeo going for a move on Connor Sport, which is the new team in the story mode, sponsored by Butler Global. So again, not fully yet at this point confirmed who's driving for them, apart from Devin Butler, we know from the previous reveals.
And there's a huge...
That moment right there, this little lockup here, I reckon this will be part of the CGI cutscene. So although it looks pretty damn sick, don't expect this to be the actual in-game stuff when we're playing the game, lap after lap. And this definitely is CGI cutscene of it. It seems so intricate and like devastating that I just know that this can't be the actual damage model in game. So this is CGI and part of it. But this is, well, what is the race number actually from the front? 71. So this is Devin Butler crashing at Imola. Feeling the pressure in a very similar way to Leclerc, remember, because this part of the track is the last chicane in the last sector. So very Leclerc of Devin Butler to crash in this manner over the bump, I'm guessing, as he defends against the Alfa Romeo. And this shot is sick. This shot is awesome. This is our first little snippet look of Las Vegas in F1 23. And it looks amazing. It looks unreal. Like, you've got all the different kind of casino, hotel buildings. This is the, I think this is the Strip. Or I could be wrong. This might be the back part of the circuit. I think it's the Strip, because I'm pretty sure this Eiffel Tower mock-up they have in Vegas is on the actual Strip itself. And you've got this big kind of fountain arrangement with water flying out on the sides, the hotels here. But epic, epic look at Las Vegas. Looks hustling and bustling. And then we get a shot of Max Verstappen with the EA Sports logo, obviously adorned on his chin. They're going to play into that a lot. And then we get a look at one of the new characters in the story mode. Seems to be maybe like the team principal of Connor Sport, because we already had the previous other character revealed on Friday, which was like a technical, chief or whatever. So this might be the team principal, like actually on the circuit.
Before a race begins, anything is possible. It's like the world holds its breath.
Why are you hesitating?
We've got Casper Ackerman. Casper Ackerman is still here in Breaking Point 2. He is still there in the story, but it looks like, is this his daughter potentially all grown up, or just someone he's managing? Just going back through those frames previously, though, all these shots, Leclerc in the garage, Hamilton in the garage, you can kind of see that different color grading. And then this is what I was on about, like this. Like, I don't think they'd bother, it is a bit of a cutscene, but at the same time, this is all ran, like, in the game, maybe. So, if this truly is going to be, like, this just kind of slightly sepia tone in a way. If that's going to be actually what it's going to be stylized like, it's going to actually be a very pretty looking game. Maybe this is all cutscene stuff. You know, we don't know for certain, but certainly just looks a lot more epic than what we've seen in previous F1 games. We get a helmet shot of a driver in the Connor Sport Butler Global car. This is not Butler's helmet though, and I suspect this might be this girl's helmet, and Ackerman is asking why she's hesitating. So he's wearing a Connor Sport t-shirt. So now that he's retired out of Formula 1, ironically, has he joined forces? Has he been hired by Connor Sport to manage or, you know, drive a coach maybe in this team? And then Butler signed for them, brought some sponsorship, and it's this weird kind of, you know, conflict of, you know, bitter rivals now having to work together, and he's got a personal, you know, connection to it because maybe this is his daughter or a cousin or something, basically, because he did have a kid in the first story. I can't remember how old she was, but I don't think she was maybe old enough in the 2 years to join F1.
Kelly Mayer is the F2 champion!
So she's the F2 champion coming into Formula 1. So she's done what we did with Aiden Jackson in the first Breaking Point story, winning F2, getting into F1. Number 20 is her race number, at least in F2 at least, and she won it with Trident. And now she's in F1, and Ackerman's got some affiliation to her, and she's tasked with feeling the pressure of entering the sport and not hesitating.
Everyone thought Aiden was going to be signed by one of the big three.
Something has gone very wrong here.
Okay, so it's not gone well for Aiden Jackson. Butler here in like a, well, very much like they've very much got that DTS interview vibe. Butler in the Connor Sport t-shirt saying everyone thought Aiden was going to get signed by a top team. It didn't go well. Is that him? By the race number, I think that is 89. So Aiden Jackson is going to be involved with Connor Sport, with the team. If you look closely at the car, this is not the same car we saw on Friday when they did the Connor Sport team reveal. This is the old FOM My Team car with that big nose. They've tried to cover it up, I think, with the way the livery's black and the yellow. Very much kind of like almost how I tried to cover it up in Season 2 of my Team career mode at F1 22. So this will be the first year part of the story, because like Breaking Point 2 is going to be over 2 years. We'll have 22 and then 23, the current year of the game, just like it did back then with 2020 into 21. So is there going to be a story of Aiden Jackson going to Connor Sport, failing to do well? Maybe he's annoyed that he didn't get into a top team and he's been relinquished to Connor Sport, a new team on the grid which starts from the bottom, has an engine failure of kind, and it's just not gone well for him, and that's his cue to be kicked out, basically. And that's his cue to basically be kicked out, and in comes the F2 champion, maybe, managed by Ackerman, and now she's going to be alongside Butler.
Something has gone very wrong here.
Every season, you want to step up. There's always something to improve.
Something's not right.
Okay, box.
Are you joking?
That's it, go.
Big issues at Connor Sport. Aiden comes in at Suzuka, I think it is. These are different shots. I think that is... no, actually, that is from Suzuka, the last corner. A little bit of a drift there into the pits. The pit crew don't have the tyres ready, so there are issues going on for Aiden Jackson. That is his helmet, because that's very similar to the design that we saw in F1 2021. Again, though, we see some IRL shots of Leclerc, and we do get some IRL shots of Verstappen later in the trailer. So definitely Leclerc and Verstappen. We also heard them audibly in the team reveal on Friday. So I think Leclerc and Verstappen will be heavily involved in the story mode with audio bites and recordings. They've done both with them.
That's it, go.
This has to be a red flag.
Red flags. But an awful crash here with the AlphaTauri and Piastri, I think it is, in the McLaren. So that's just not involving our story characters.
Flag.
But then a very angry Aiden kicking up his driver room, chucking his helmet, kicking boxes. Things aren't going well for him.
I was devastated.
That's a great result.
Devon saying he's devastated, really with the most monotone voice ever. I don't think he's devastated whatsoever. But then this next shot, Red Bull going through Silverstone, again, very cinematic, like it. There's Ackerman. Ackerman on the pit wall. So, might even well be the team principal himself. I don't know. We don't really know what Ackerman's role is, but he's on the pit wall, some kind of driver coach or involved with the team, because he was actually a very good character. More than Aiden, actually. I actually thought there was more of a backstory and there was more flesh to Casper Ackerman's character in Breaking Point 1 than Aiden in the whole story. So I like the fact he's still involved in some way in this story. Then just some epic shots from in-game. The Mercedes crossing the line there. Verstappen, we saw that already in Max's video he dropped on Monday. Alonso celebrating. And this, I want to add, this shot right here, that shot right there, those are all animations from the podium cutscenes you get now in-game on F1 22. And they look like this now. So this isn't a cutscene. This is actually from the game. And it looks so much better than what we've had in the last couple of years in terms of the lighting and the way everything's bouncing off and the finish on the color coding. And the podium sequences as well. Leclerc, Hamilton on the podium. Perez picks up the trophy again. Is this going to be a snippet of the new cutscenes we're going to see now in the podiums when you get onto it or when your driver wins the race?
I want to be the best I can be, and I want to win.
And it's lights out, and away we go.
Do you know how I look losing easy points like this?
Right, so that is Aiden Jackson, all grown up, looking a little bit different, a bit more mature than he did in Breaking Point 1, but expressing his frustration to the same guy we saw previously there. So I reckon he's the team principal. I think Ackerman's just there as an engineer, maybe a driver coach of some kind, a team advisor. We see that a few times, you know, drivers, like Niki Lauda was for Mercedes, hanging about with teams, offering their advice and assistance, even being on the pit wall sometimes. So I think that's what Ackerman's character is going to be in comparison. So we're going to have Aiden Jackson, Devon Butler, and Halle Mayer, I think it is, as Alex Jack says. I think that's right, Halle Mayer. And just after that bit he says about losing easy points, there's a crash. It's another big moment.
Easy points like this.
Baku. That is a big shunt there. Australia, they're already fighting. Two of the Connor Sport cars close together. And then right here, the move down the inside. Bit of contact. I can't tell the numbers quite, but that looks like the nose. I think that's from the 23 part of the story. And there is big drama at Baku there.
Come on, you can do this.
Not everyone survives in F1. You know that.
So I think this might be the chief executive of this team that we saw the real-life actor actually there on Friday on that reveal of Connor Sport, talking to our brand new character that's coming into the team as a junior. Not everyone survives in this sport, he says. And then it goes on to Aiden talking to his good old pal, Casper Ackerman, maybe looking for some advice from his former teammate, a little bit upset. And then Devon getting to an argument, and there she is wearing the overall. So she is going to be driving for the team. Devon's going to be there as well. So there's going to be a lot of moving musical chairs, if you will, in this team. And I'm sure he's going to be at the forefront of the drama.
Not everyone survives in F1. You know that.
Wheel to wheel, this is fabulous. The question is,
who will be
The last to break.
Pretty epic ending. Pretty epic ending. And there is the final splash page, June 16th. But the rest of those shots really just, after that, just all about the focus on the actual official F1 teams, basically. All using that new FOM chassis, by the way. Of course, the final chassis always come in for the actual final game when it launches. But in all the promo, it's going to be the generic car. But all of it has got this different color grading to it that I honestly think, because they've used it consistently throughout this, no matter if it's a cutscene or actual in-game shots that they've rendered out, I think this is going to be the new color grading we're going to be seeing in the game, which, like that looks so much better than what we've seen in previous F1 games. Just that it just grounds it a little bit to more like what we see in real life. So that has been the F1 23 reveal and all the details from the press release and a full breakdown of that brand new trailer. If you guys have enjoyed it and are excited for this game, then be sure to hit the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below about any of those details or that trailer. And if you're new around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. And if there's any more details that we've missed that there's to cover, you can expect another video as soon as possible. But till then, guys, hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.